So the theme for today's meditation, we're going to focus on that self-acceptance and moving away from self-criticism and looking at this fine line between blame and taking responsibility, blaming ourselves versus putting our hands on the wheel and thinking about, what did I need to learn from that? How did I contribute to any uncomfortable situation without dipping into self-criticism and self-blame in a really negative way. It's really an important concept that I work with a lot of my clients. It's a pretty tricky thing to be able to accept ourselves in spite of all our many faults and limitations, and to be okay with what is and realize that we're all here growing, and as we're experiencing our growing pains, just accepting that that's part of the human condition. So putting that out there as kind of a seed concept as we move into our meditation today. So let's find ourselves now in a comfortable, probably sitting position, because if we're lying down, we might fall asleep. And just know that as you move into the meditative state, definite physiological changes are happening. So as we begin meditation, I often cue to, slow down the breathing, take a big deep breath in, and then exhale and relax, and that's kind of cueing the pacing. And when we slow down our breathing, that starts to slow down our brain waves and gets us into a more relaxed brainwave state where we're more creative. And then there's a whole host of other things that happen. Our body chemistries kind of get rid of some of the stress hormones and increase the levels of some of the feeling good hormones. So let's do it. So take a moment to gaze around your surroundings, and then you can either soften your gaze or close your eyes. And we'll begin by placing our sense of awareness in our heart center. As you allow yourself to relax, you'll find your breathing slows down a little bit, and just imagine the breath coming in and out of the middle of your chest. And then begin to turn your attention to someone or something that inspires feelings of gratitude or awe or compassion or love. And send those good thoughts to that someone or something. Could be moonlight on the ocean, could be your pet. Continue to breathe through the middle of your chest as you're sending those good thoughts out into the world. And continue with those good thoughts to that someone or something while you breathe deeply through your middle of your chest. And now turn the spotlight inward and send the same thought, gratitude or compassion or appreciation or love, to yourself. In spite of all your flaws and limitations, which just make us human. And then choose an area in your life that just comes to mind where you sometimes feel like you could be doing a better job, and maybe sometimes you're hard on yourself about that. And then practice turning your thinking around about that issue within. Just laying down just dropping the tendency to criticize, to self-criticism, and to self-blame. Just hold yourself with compassion. And then see how this is not the same thing as I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to keep procrastinating on the project or keep breaking my word with myself about living a healthy lifestyle, or I'm going to keep losing my temper. It's not that. We're just dropping the blame and shifting into a place of, what can I take responsibility for? And just feel into the difference between those two constructs. And so as you ponder this aspect of your life and keep your focus in that heart-centeredness, compassionate awareness. And even in our problem areas, we can hold ourselves with compassion and keep moving forward. And in fact, see how it's easier to move forward when we're holding ourselves with compassion and stepping out of blame and into responsibility. And then turn your gaze outward again and find someone or something, situation in your life that you tend to feel resistant to and critical toward, and see if you can again move out of that place of blame. And hold that other with compassion. So that can be a tricky thing to do. So if there's a particularly problematic person or situation in your life, it might be like PhD level compassion to go there. So maybe pick lower hanging fruit. But just focus on that person or issue that's a stone in your shoe and hold that with compassion. Turn your gaze back inward and hold yourself with compassion again, especially if something got kicked up for you. We're all a work in progress, and it's all okay. And then let's build our vision and hold open the space and hold open our minds to the possibility of more and more people in the world shifting out of blame and criticism and up into acceptance and compassion, and with that, being able to take responsibility. A 1,000 point of light, 1,000,000 point of light, 1 billion points of light, billions of points of light.